Hey sis, on today's episode, we're diving into the 3 processes and systems every business needs to thrive in 2025. If you're feeling like you're spinning your wheels, struggling to keep up with everything in your business, or just wondering how you can level up in this new year, this episode is for you. But first, I've got to talk to you about the 2-hour Biz Intensive. This is an offer I've been sharing for a few weeks now, and originally this was set to close on December 31st, but I have been led to extend it for a few more days to give you last minute stragglers a last chance to grab your spot. After January 14th, that is it, sis. I'm closing my calendars and I'm not reopening it until God tells me to. So if you got 7 more days to figure out if the 2-hour Biz Intensive is for you. If you're ready to work with me one-on-one to create systems, nail down your goals, and start 2025 with clarity and confidence, head over to bit.ly/BIZINTENSIVE. That's bit.ly Biz Intensive to secure your spot today. All right. Now, let's dive into this episode and get your business set up for long-term success. You are listening to Call Her Profitable, the podcast where Jesus-loving entrepreneurs hit 5-figure months consistently, all while keeping God at the center of their business. I'm your host, Odaisha, certified business coach and multi-passionate entrepreneur, here to empower you with the tools to build a profitable, cash-flowing business. And on this podcast, we'll explore effective marketing strategies for attracting clients and boosting sales, along with simple methods for running your business effectively. And hey, if you're ready for accountability in both your faith and business journey, head over to thewomanofpowergroup.com to join our exclusive community. So sis, grab that notebook and that iced coffee and let's get to work. Hey sis, on today's episode, we're going to be talking about the 3 process and systems every business needs to thrive in 2025, even if you're just starting out. And this has to be my favorite point that God has brought to my attention as I have been on my quest to figuring out what does managing motherhood and also managing a profitable business at the same time looks like. So I mentioned to you guys on the past couple of episodes, and you're going to keep hearing me saying that I basically found myself in this rut trying to figure out, okay, now that I'm pregnant, I'm about to have this beautiful baby girl. What does that mean for the business, right? How do I manage being a first-time mom with all the demands of motherhood and also be true to the business that God has called me to and be able to scale it? So there's some important metrics and important focuses that God has given me as he has answered this question for me, that I realized that I've been so focused on scaling to 6 figures that actually making 6 figures is not that hard. Really, what's hard about the process is that you're overwhelmed. It's that you have no system in place. It's that even if you do hit that 5-6 figures, you're not able to maintain it. So this is like the core and the gems of us being able to not only build highly profitable businesses, but also ones that are impactful, ones that's going to stay around for a long time, and ones that are super simple to manage. So today, as we're heading into 2025, as we're heading into the new year, I want to talk about process and systems every business needs to thrive. Now, before I give you the 3 process and systems, I just want to define what process and systems are, because I know that these are terms that we kind of throw around in the business world. So a process is the way you do things or get things done in your business. That's That's basically this is the process that we use to create content. And systems is what is put in place to make sure those things are successfully done. It really is that simple. So there should be a documented process for everything that you do in your business, and it should be transferable. And when I say transferable, I mean, God forbid something happens to you, or let's just say someone else needs to take over your business. Your process and your systems should be easy to follow for the next person, or it's easy for you to duplicate on the day-to-day so you don't feel like you're doing a bunch of nothing each time you show up to work on your business, right? So without the proper process or systems, you will be twisting your fingers. You're going to be throwing spaghetti at the wall. You're going to be trying to figure out what's working and what's not working. But when you have these things in place, you'll be able to basically have this business that you love, even when things are a little overwhelming or frustrating or confusing. There's a sense of peace that comes because you know how things run and operate in your business. So the 3 process and systems I believe every business needs in order to thrive in 2025 is number 1, a process for creating content. Now we know that content is king, right? Content is how we connect with our audience. Content is how we bring brand awareness. Content is how we set ourselves up as thought leader inside of our industries. But what I have found is that many of us are just creating content, then we're getting overwhelmed. We're inconsistent with it because we don't have a clear process of how we create content. So you want to think about what kind of content do you produce? How often does it go out? Where does it go? And who is it going to, right? You always want to start with the end goal in mind. Think about what's the point of the content? What do you want the person on the other end to do with this information? Do you want them to purchase from you? Do you want them to be inspired? Do you want to know that your business exists? Like, what is the true point of this content? Then you want to consider how this content is being created. Is it you that's doing the creating? Do you have a social media manager that is creating it, right? If it's you that's creating it, do you create it from scratch or do you use templates? How often is this content going out? And if there are 2 parts, for example, let's say I want to put out a piece of content that's how to start a 5-figure business, right? My goal is to get someone to download the 5-figure business starter pack. Working backward means first I have to figure out what's in the starter pack. Then I have to create the starter pack. Then I have to find a way for the person to get the starter pack. Then I have to create the content for them to even want to download the starter pack. So you want to think about what this whole process looks like so you can duplicate it over time. And my process, honestly, for content creating, I might have mentioned this before, is I work with my VA and we curate the content together. So I take 1 day out of the month to curate all of my content. I already know what content is going to be going out. I already know what my offers are going to be. And based on my offers, based on my end goal is how I'm curating the content, right? Then I take the time to actually map out the content and I send it over to my VA who then create the content. So all of the word is coming from me, but the graphics and how she's putting it together is coming from her. She uploads it onto the Trello board. I approve of it. And then I have her schedule it out on our social media scheduling app, right? So that's a process that I have come up with for creating content. There's steps to how content is being created. So you want to think about this. The next process and system every business needs to thrive in 2025, even if you're just starting out, is a process for how things run in your business in general. And when you have this in place, this is going to be helpful for onboarding employees. Okay. I say this all the time. Do not hire help if you do not know where you are going and what you are doing. You would just be wasting both of you guys' time. When I first hired my VA, I did not consider the amount of time it's going to take me to train her to do some of the things that I wanted her to do. This is something that really prompted me to have process and systems in place and document everything so that the next time I ask her to, let's say, hey, can you please create a blog post for me, or hey, can you please send out an email? There's already a process that she goes through in order to get this done, right? So there needs to be a clear process in place for your employees to understand what they are doing on a day-to-day. It's not fair for your virtual assistant or your volunteers or anybody that's coming to help you and they have to figure out how to do things on their own in your business. And then it's also good for you to have a process for how things run in your business in general, because this will allow you to show up every morning in confidence. So once I have already scheduled out my plans for the week, when Monday comes, if I see it says craft emails, best believe I have a process for crafting all of my emails. Or if it's saying check podcast production, best believe I have a process for checking all of my podcast production, right? I'm not all over the place like, okay, well, did I do this? Did I do this? How do I do that? How do I do this? Is this done? Oh man, I forgot this. Oh snap. Let me go back to my email. No, there is very specific processes in place, right? There's things in place to know exactly how my business is ran. And then in the event that I maybe have to sit out, or an event that I have to hire an operational manager because I'm so focused on, let's say, my baby, at least it's transferable. And I could say, hey, this is some of the important areas of my business, my podcast, my email, my offers. This is how I craft offers. This is how I send out emails. This is how I produce my podcast, right? So you want to have a process for how things run in your business in general. And this is going to be helpful for you down the line when you begin to hire people. So then, in the last process and system every business needs to thrive in 2025, which is probably one of the most important, is a process for delivering and helping your clients. So like I mentioned, this is probably one of the most important, especially for client retention and also customer success. You want your client to have a positive and seamless experience when they connect with you, right? You don't want them to feel lost or unseen, especially since they're paying you to solve their problem. They're already confused. They're already all over the place, right? And them taking that step to invest in the solution that you have to offer should give them, soon as they step into your world, should give them a peace of mind. I think about Amazon Prime when I think about a process for delivering seamlessly to your clients. They are good at this in customer experience. And this is exactly why most of us buy from Amazon often, because we trust them, right? We're accustomed to their process. We know that when we go onto Amazon and it's Prime, all we have to do is look for our item, read the reviews, click buy now, and my product will be at my door in 2 days. Simple, right? It's very simple. It's very easy. It's very streamlined. It's been duplicated multiple times. We done order from Amazon. The same thing happens and we get success each time. You want the same experience for your people so that as soon as they click buy now or sign up for whatever your offer is very clear on what are the next steps to get to that next thing. And it's not confusing and you are able to establish trust with them. Okay. So those are the 3 processes that I believe every business need in order to thrive in 2025. So you need a process for creating content. You need a process for how things run in your business in general, which will also be helpful for when you're ready to hire or get help inside of your business. And then you need a process for delivering solutions and help to your clients. Now, I know I talked about process. Let's touch on systems. all of these processes need systems on how they are hosted. And when I say systems, I'm talking about the actual softwares that would help the process move forward. So some of the softwares I use are Slack. This is how I communicate daily with my team. This is the fastest way to reach out to me and get a response quicker, right? My team is not texting me. All of our communication is happening on Slack. Then I use Loom to document my process. So anytime I send new work to my VA, it's documented on Loom for her to be able to always go back and know how to go through the process. For example, creating content or uploading a blog post. This is also helpful for me as well because sometimes there's multiple steps to my own process and I'm like, wait, hold up. How do we do podcast production again? So I'm able to refer back to Loom. I'm able to refer back to those videos like, okay, just to make sure that we didn't miss any steps, or if there's any steps that are confusing, then I might have to restructure my process so that it could be a little bit more seamless. I use ConvertKit, now known as Kit, for my email software. This is how I'm able to communicate with my subscribers. And then I use Trello to organize and improve content that will go out to social media. Some other software I use is like Google Sheets. This is how I organize my podcast episodes and then plan to automatically schedule out my social media posts, but also to kind of beautify my social media feed. So these are some of the systems that I put in place to make managing my business so much easier. So just to do a recap, it's super important as we're going into 2025 as serious business owners for the kingdom of God that we have systems and processes in place so we're not throwing spaghetti on the wall, so we're not overwhelmed, so we're not confused. So we know that every time we show up to work, we know exactly what it is that we are doing. The three main processes that we want to have inside of our business is a process for creating content, how to run things, how things are ran daily in our business, and then how you deliver your solution to your client. Now, sis, you know I'm here to help you. You know that this podcast is all about strategy and actions. So if you're someone who likes to tackle things on your own, no worries. I got you covered. I've dropped my business management starter kit inside of the show notes. It's packed with the exact tools that I use to manage my business and stay on top of everything. But if you're ready to take action now and want quick, impactful results, I've opened my books for a limited time offer, the 2-hour Biz Intensive. So this is going to be a focused strategy session where we take a deep dive into your business and your goals. Together, we'll create a plan to systemize your business so you can show up confidently, reduce overwhelm, and actually start making sales. And don't worry, whether you're just starting out or you've been at it for a while, I'll meet you right where you are. These sessions are flexible and tailored to your needs. Here's the deal though, sis. This offer is only available for a short time. It was only available until December 31st, which was last week, but I am extending the offer for 2 more weeks only, okay? So this week and next week is going to be closed, sis, all right? So if this is something that you want to take advantage of, head over to bit.ly/BIZINTENSIVE. That's bit.ly/biz intensive to secure your spot today, okay? There's no need to wait until 2025, 2026 to get this all together. It don't even need to wait until some type of shift like being pregnant for you to get all these things together. If you're ready to take action, please secure your spot now by heading over to bit.ly/biz intensive. And again, I also dropped that business management starter kit inside of the show notes for you. If you're looking to do things on your own, no problem, sis. I still have you covered. Sis, send this episode to a friend that may encourage, this may give clarity to, who have maybe praying about their business in 2025. And I'll see you over in the next episode. Bye. Hey, sis. I hope today's episode blessed you. If it did, would you take just 30 seconds to share it with a fellow Christian woman entrepreneur who's ready to step boldly in her God-given business? And hey, don't forget to leave your girl a quick review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps to get the word out and lights me up to know that this podcast is actually making an impact in your journey. All right, sis, time to get back to building that kingdom business and claiming those 5-figure months. I'll see you next week for another power-packed episode. Stay blessed and profitable.